So I was working on this TV show called Strange Angel, and it was about Aleister Crowley bringing the Church of Satan into Hollywood in 1943.
Wow.
I remember a couple of the girls on set. It was a story about Jack Parson, who was a rocket scientist with NASA. Like it's so like boom when the veil is lifted, you're like, holy this is real. And he was working in the science in the space department and became a part of this community that Aleister Crowley had this church. And they would do rituals, demonic, Illuminati type rituals, and how they really, you can look it up, it's on IMDb. And so I would go to work in the morning and I was in charge of the script, managing script, taking all the notes for the filming for this whole series. And I remember the makeup girl going, how do you feel when you get to work? And I go, man, I like pray and ask God to protect me every time I show up to set, because I could feel the demonic energy encapsulating this show. That's when I thought, this is the whole industry.
Hey there, and welcome to the Reclamation Room. I'm Ashana, and I'm so glad you're here. This is a space for women reclaiming themselves after narcissistic abuse. If you've ever felt like you were too much, not enough, or both at the same time, you're in the right place. I created this podcast because I know what it's like to lose yourself in overgiving, overperforming, and still wondering why it never felt like love. I've walked through trauma, toxic relationships, and the long road of self-reclamation, and I'm here to walk with you. In this podcast, we'll explore what it means to come home to yourself after the confusion and chaos of narcissistic abuse. Some episodes will be solo, others will include guest interviews. All of them will be honest, grounded, and deeply compassionate. So, whether you're just realizing what you've lived through, or you've been on this path and you're ready for the next layer of your healing, you are welcome here. This is not about perfection. This is about reclamation. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Reclamation Room. This is the podcast for women healing from narcissistic abuse and betrayal trauma. I'm here in the studio today with Hilary Powers, my newfound friend. She was a child TV star. She's an author. She's a transformative coach who I know has so much insight to share with you guys. This has been an awesome conversation. Hilary, I want to say thank you for being here. I'm so excited for everyone to meet you.
I am beyond excited to share my heart with y'all. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
My mind tried to capture me today, so I was just praying and asking God to quiet my thoughts.
Yeah.
You know how that is.
I do. Would you prefer to reschedule? Is this a good day? Because I'm so flexible.
No, don't worry about it. No, those are the days when you just have to forge.
Okay.
That's the practicing the work.
It absolutely is.
Why can't I just not be perfect all the time? It's like, that's such an illusion. It's so painful.
Yes, it is.
Very painful living in your head, especially when you're trying to be what? Where am I trying to go? When I become somebody, it's like, God lives in the moment. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big, it's kind of a leap of faith for me, even doing this podcast, because people have always told me, like, oh my gosh, you should do a podcast. And I would think to myself, like, yeah, over my dead body. Like, number one, that's a lot of work, because it is. It's a lot of work to have your own. It's so much easier. I prefer to guest on people's podcasts and let them do the work portion because it's a lot. But
Yeah.
number two, it does, like, it's a balancing act. Like, I'm walking on a tightrope sometimes of, like, I coach people through the inner critic and debunking that and, like, don't be so hard on yourself. And then I'm on camera a lot of the day and I'm having to coach myself through that also. And, like, okay, practice what you preach. Like, this is the real test here. It is a leap of faith for me.
I'm going through this growing pains, like I'm building, like I just decided to do this 3 months ago because I mentor women and have for 40 years. And I always have these one-liners. I call them my Hilaryisms. And my friends are like, you should, why don't you do a podcast? And I'm like, dude, I don't want the responsibility. I don't want I worked for 35 years making movies. I'm freaking exhausted. So I'm in my 60s, remarried again with a great guy, nice Christian, just everything that a woman could wish for. He's a great human being, flawed, damaged, traumatized, just a good guy, just trust God with all his heart. What more do you want, right? So I'm doing this whole new venture and it's just not it's not happening fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
Who's
Yeah.
time living in mine? And so, and I'm spending this money doing it. It's like it's not cheap trying to
Yeah.
rebrand yourself. And I don't want to I don't mind modeling and doing some kind of commercials here and there. We're talking about Satan's playground. Welcome to the film industry.
I bet. I bet.
You have no idea. When you're in the belly of the beast, you're just like, and when you are awake,
Mm-hmm.
I lived in, like this for so long. And then when I woke up, I was like, this is where it's all been formed.
So that brings me to a question. When you were in the industry, did you realize while you were in it?
Yeah. Well, when you go up in it, like, I don't even know that, Satan goes after your senses.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing, you're tasting, you're touching, you're feeling, you're smelling, like all those senses, because those were the gift that God gave us. The sixth sense is the one we tap in and we get the source. We get energy so we can use these wonderful gifts.
Yeah.
What happens is we get captured by the gifts and we think the gifts are the power, not the power who gave it to me. So here I am, as a kid, I was like this, I was a cartoon character, but
I did. I saw that.
was Sally and Charlie Brown Peanut. So it sounds like, oh my God, you're so lucky. You think
Yeah.
I did that? I was a kid. I wanted to just be a kid. I have brothers and sisters. I didn't want to be treated differently, but I was a meal ticket to my mother. And so when you're a meal ticket, you don't have a choice. You just have to feed, others. So when I was geared, if you don't do this, your brothers and sisters are going to starve. Your dad can't afford people. My mother used to call my dad a fag. I was like, I didn't even know what this meant. Your dad's weak. He said, she hated men. She was
Yeah.
abused by her dad. She abused. And then, but, back in the day, you got married and you just had kids. So it was drink, fight, and you know what? 7 kids later. And so I started doing this stuff and it was fun because I got to go stop off at Carl's Jr. and get a hamburger. That was my special thing. That was like, $100,000 for a hamburger. Then I got treated a little special by other people, although my mom, I wasn't, she was a very abusive, narcissistic, angry alcoholic. And so, I'd get candy and so it was the seduction, we'll feed you and then you perform. And so as a kid, I grew a character based on that. So you take that character building
Yeah.
principle, you teach kids, do good and you'll get a pat on the back. So we do things, it's a natural instinct for children to want to please, totally natural. Like you can go to your kids, okay, I need a really strong boy. And it's like, oh, to take the trash out, I can do it. So we do that, and the little girl goes, who's the cutest little girl? She's like, I am. Well, when you get kids to do that in the film industry, you're just like getting them, you're like, here's the carrot. And so, as a kid, I kind of grew this character of people pleasing. And then I was living in such a traumatic home, it became my coping device. I gotta please. Otherwise, I'll be withheld of any morsel of love from home. So I would do more and more and more until and then I end up leaving that, becoming a good girl, turn bad. I end up going back into the film industry in my 20s. But I didn't want to be an actor because I was Me Too'd. I did that, take your clothes off. Okay.
Yeah.
Tenure. Okay. And I just wanted to use my brain. So went to UCLA and got in film and I became a script supervisor so I could be the smarty pants and earn that. So I'm working on all this stuff and I'm watching all these movies and I'm like, God, this stuff is so crazy. How can they come up with these things? That's when I started questioning. And then in 19, no, 1000 16, 15. I had questioned things going on in the world, but I always kind of stuffed it back down. Don't deal with it. And I was believed in God, and I would read the Sermon on the Mount for my AA groups, and I go, what a cool dude. Yeah, he's great. But never really surrendered to, there's a difference to comply and surrender. Comply is like, yeah, okay, cool. I got a gun in my back pocket. Yeah, I'll stop shooting. And surrender is like, I get it. I'm done. You got me, uncle. So I was working on this TV show called Strange Angel, and it was about Aleister Crowley bringing the Church of Satan into Hollywood in 1943.
You were working on this film?
The TV show series.
Wow.
I remember a couple of the girls on set, and it was a story about Jack Parson, who he was a rocket scientist with NASA. Like, it's so like boom, when the veil is lifted, you're like, holy this is real. And he was working in the science in the space department and became a part of this community that Aleister Crowley had this church, and they would do rituals and demonic Illuminati type rituals, and how they really, you can look it up, it's on IMDb. And so I would go to work in the morning, and I was in charge of the script, right? Manning script, taking all the notes for the filming for this whole series. And I remember the makeup girl going, how do you feel when you get to work? And I go, man, I like pray and ask God to protect me every time I show up to set, because I could feel the demonic energy encapsulating this show. That's when I thought, this is the whole industry. They started in the radio. Remember when they did that? What was it? I can't remember the name. You can remind me, where they had like The World's Falling Apart, that radio show. Remember the big radio? Well, I mean, you weren't even a thought at the time.
I'm gonna have to look it up though.
Yeah, but it was like they did this radio where everybody thought it was real. It was so real. It was a radio show.
Oh, I've heard of that. I know what you're talking about.
And that was like a test run of how easily we can be manipulated by
Yeah.
our. And so, and then you get the film. So now you have your eyes, your ears. So it gets your feelings going. And then we get seduced. We don't even know. It's like, I love this movie. It's so great. It's like, oh my God, you're agreeing. You're setting an agreement with the devil.
Mm. Wow.
So that was kind of the awakening. And then I started thinking, do I want to keep doing this? And I've done a lot of stuff, and I've kind of vacillated back and forth. But now I'm at a place where if I'm going to be on this platform, I'm going to use it for good, and I'm going to share a message of depth and weight that helps you surrender to God, or surrender to, giving up your addictions, because that's all controlled in your senses. So you become as ungodlike as possible when you're getting high. Last thing you have is morals and values and truths. And
Wow.
so, yeah, so I a couple months ago, in July, went down. I live in Florida now. I used to live in California, and I pulled the trigger and divorced my husband, who is not a believer and heavily addicted. And I just couldn't live with it because I'm sober. And it was like every day I was depressed. And
Yeah.
so I kept saying, if God's for me, who can be against me? God's for me. So I pulled the trigger. I went to Atlanta, not really knowing anybody. My brother was there, and unfortunately we had a falling out. And we said, to this day, we're not talking. I've made amends, but family traumas trigger things, and people just don't ever want to revisit them. And then I ended up coming down to Florida because I missed the ocean. I was raised in California on the beach, and I came down here not knowing anybody. I kept saying, if God's for me, who can be against me? Thank God I have a community, Alcoholics Anonymous. So I feel like I have a community, and I've gotten in a church here, and I serve, and I've kind of, how can I be of service in any capacity?
Yep.
And then when I came down here, I said, I think I'm done working on movies. I'm finished. And I never, ever, ever thought I would ever say that, because I was so addicted, following the circus, the excitement, always in that excitement. Once I had paused, it's like, wow, I didn't realize how exhausted I was, but I kept pushing myself and pushing myself, pushing myself. And so when I went to this film festival, there was a woman who was putting balloons up in this party for the Florida film. It was a Florida film. And I didn't want to talk about movies. I was like, ugh, you talk about another movie, I don't care. Oh my God. Yeah, so and so's. Yeah, they're all crazy. Trust me. Everybody who's in front of the camera is so messed up. That's why they're in front of the camera. They want you to think they're good. It's all an illusion. And so I saw this woman putting up balloons and I said, can I help you with the balloons? Because I'm be of service. And she says, yeah, sure. So we start talking. She said, would you like to come? I'm a professor at Nova State University. I was like, I don't even know what that is. I'm like, okay. She says, would you like to come talk to my graduating class about mental health and dealing with the trauma? I go, wow, okay. I mean, it's so interesting when you make yourself available for God to shift your gears and to change your directions. Because when I'm in my mindset that I know what I need, I know what I want. Well, Michael, blinders are off. I'm like this. But once I open up and just, you know, if I wasn't open to give to this woman, my gifts that I have today would not be here. We would not be talking. And so I went and I shared at her class for her graduating class, sociology department. She's a therapist. And she said, you really need to do this. This is your calling. And I was like, really? Because it's effortless. It's easy. I just have to, God places me in a position to be of service and I just have to show up. And so then I ended up speaking for the Fort Lauderdale Women's Chamber of Commerce. And then I got another gig. And then I thought, I think I'm just going to go on podcasts and see where it takes me. So now I'm in this another phase of my development, meaning, okay, I guess this is my last chapter. I guess. I don't know. We'll see. I've always had that sense of the more I say I don't know, the more I know.
Yep. I can relate to that.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, God, where am I going next? And here I am.
Gosh, I am loving this conversation because I know, on the one hand, I know that I'm going to have listeners of the show who maybe feel like they can't relate. Like, I haven't been in the film industry, the movie industry, the TV industry. Maybe I don't believe in a certain type of religion. Like maybe the words that you're saying at first glance, it might be a sense of, I can't relate. But I'm listening to you and I'm like, you know what? I just had a conversation with my best friend recently about posting our work on social media. She's an artist and I'm a word artist. I'm not very artsy fartsy, but we share our work and we shared this common sentiment of when we send our work out into the world on social media, at first it feels icky.
Oh, you feel
Yeah. And
aching.
it's this energy, it's this living, breathing energy that is social media, and you can feel it. And this is what I always share with like my clients, my listeners, people that I just randomly meet. We end up talking about things like this. It's crazy. But like we do have that extra sensory perception and we feel the energy of things. We're feeling humans, right? Like we have that ability and you can feel that social media can be icky. And so I imagine it's the same with the industry, like something's not right here. Red alert. There's some kind of alarm system going off somewhere. I'm assuming that woman felt it when she asked you how you felt when you show up to work every day. And
And
so
we started praying together. I mean,
yeah.
I wasn't even, I wouldn't even say I ended up getting saved, but this is it was like, I just knew
Mhm.
that I had been putting so much power into my outside life. It was controlling my inside life.
Yes.
And I had to turn the funnel around. It's like, no, this is where I live. I got to be really okay. Like, take a breath. This is where I live before I emerge to out
Hmm.
there. Before it's like I post things also, and it's, am I doing it to get something or am I doing it to give
To
something?
give something.
Really, really, really be mindful, put into my mind, fill my mind with my reasoning is
Yep.
so I can add to someone else's life. And you know what? Some days I can't. And well, oopsie.
Yes.
Oh, wow. It's not about, look at how many hits I got. Look at how many people like me, want me. It's like, do I feel as if that I added to the universe? Am I here to suck some air out of it?
And pay attention to how you feel. This is how I feel personally. Like we can come to things with great motivation and the best of intentions, but pay attention to how you feel after the fact, because you could have great intentions and be in an environment that's maybe not aligned for your best interest. So
Mhm.
pay attention to how you feel when you come away from that situation, when you come out of that conversation. Like,
Oh,
are
yeah.
you feeling more fulfilled, more filled with life? Are you feeling drained and sucked dry? And that will lead to burnout. That will lead to turning off your senses, numbing your senses, doing things to be out of your senses, like you shared. So I
Yeah.
feel this is a very relevant conversation.
Yeah, it's interesting. I always talk about feelings are a little one, they're great, but you can't let them power you, be your God. Because I'm a woman and I feel great right now. Give me a piece of cake and I'm a totally different woman. Okay. All right. And like, I'm menopause. Hello, ladies. But even when I'm younger, get me closer to that 15, 16, 17 day. I'm like, there's Hillary and then I'm Helga. So you got to watch yourself, to check
I
yourself,
love that.
yourself. So
Yeah.
I can use them as an idea, but my thing is when I get a thought, I gotta watch my thought.
Hmm.
My thoughts are the ones that create the feeling. Oh, I look fat today. There's a
Yep. Yep.
and then it's like, God, I hate myself. I'm so old and I'm so fat. These are I call them inside my elevator music that's going on and on. It's playing the same song over and over. You're a loser, you're fat, you're ugly, you're a loser, you're fat, you're ugly. And then it becomes an action.
Hmm.
Either starve, withhold, or I binge and I forget it. Mine is always just one piece of cake. Forget about it. I'm taking the whole thing. It's mine. And then that becomes my character.
Yeah.
Now I'm an overeater. Or if I get a thought that you don't like me, I become a bitch. That becomes my action. I say things mean and scandalous, and then that
Hmm.
becomes my character. And then everyone sees me of the outcome, not the thought, not the feeling, not the one action, but what they see me as a whole. So I really have to mind my thoughts,
Hmm.
and I can't do it alone because my thoughts are created from a long, long, long time ago when I was a little girl and I was hurt by my mom, my dad. I come from this painful background. We all have histories.
Yep.
So regardless of what I did for as a kid or for a living, that's just stuff. Let's just take the clothes off the emperor. I'm naked just like you. And then look at the feelings. Like there was not a lot of love. There was a lot of alcoholism. There was a lot of violence. There was a lot of withholding. There was a lot of lies, cheating, manipulation. And I grew up in an ecosystem where I was always afraid. I was
Hmm.
terrified as a kid.
Yeah.
Terrified.
And that is so damaging. Like that is so scary when you don't even feel safe. You can't, your muscles stay tensed and you wonder why you have chronic body pain later in life.
Oh
That
my God,
is,
4 herniated discs when I moved down here. I was like, oh, body keeps the score. Yeah, for real.
yeah.
But I had to find the pony in the horse shit, I say. When my body went out, I couldn't move. I needed my husband to help me. I gave up being captain.
Yeah.
I was like so vulnerable and I kept saying, thank you, God, thank you for my back problems. Thank you for making me immobile. Thank you for allowing somebody to help me. Thank you for helping me be vulnerable. Thank you for making me not be, I am woman, I am roar. Thank you for making me weak and needing you and needing people and needing assistance. Because when you're the woman who can, I've got it all together. It's like, I have this little, remember that TV show, The Man in the Bubble? I
Yeah. That's
create,
accurate.
I create a bubble around me so nobody gets near me.
Yep. And you cannot have fulfilling relationships that way.
I can't get hurt, but I can't feel love.
Yep. And you always feel misunderstood. I don't know if that's just me, but
Well, that's because I create that space. Did I not set the ball rolling? Oh, yeah.
yeah.
a victim. I'm a volunteer. I volunteered for this painful life. That's one thing that people I work with, I always say, you're not allowed to say, I know, because your mind closes. And you can't say, I can't, because that's keeping you stuck. Just say, I don't know. We'll see. That keeps me in the gray zone.
Mhm.
I'm no longer a victim. I don't want to be. When I'm a victim, I can't take. I was a victim for a long time. I suffered from victimies a long time.
Yeah.
I can paint a really bad story. Oh, you want to hear a really sad story about Hillary? Hold on. We all do that because I'm getting something out of it. I'm getting like pain. You feel sorry for me.
Yeah, because when we didn't get the attention that we truly wanted, we
saying, oh,
right.
I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't do this. I can't. Yeah. So I'm so self-centered, so self-obsessed. And finally it was like, I got sick of myself. I was like, you know what? I'm done. God, help me stop being a victim.
I'm on my own nerves at this point.
I can't, I'm a pain. I know I'm a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like I would go, oh my God, I'm whining. Oh, it's so not sexy. Shut the hell up, woman. So I had to get sick and tired of me. And then that's when I started taking power of my own life. I have some power of my life. I'm no longer a victim. So now if I get in an argument with somebody, I own it. I own it. People say, but Hillary, you're saying you're sorry. I said, I'm not, because if I'm making sure I'm right, am I not hurting you? I'm doing this. We're no longer right. We're no longer right size. I'm the queen and you're my subservient, whatever, Sherpa. Right.
Yeah. And honestly, like how many times did we get feedback from making our own mistakes that like we don't know everything. So how can I be showing up in all these relationships as if I know everything?
Oh, it's it's so not sexy, ladies. Don't know everything. Be stupid for a second.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I'm wondering, did you this hierarchy of power? I'm wondering if that's something that you absorbed from how you were treated as a child. I did, so I'm curious.
well, I turn on the TV set. There
Mm.
is amazing people. We're just these little things staring at the TV.
Oh, so
Boom.
the industry really like gave you a lot of insight.
Think about it. We create these images behind glass.
Yeah.
They're behind the glass. They're untouchable. And they make them like these powers. They're the power. And we're never, ever going to have that power because there's a big veneer in front of us.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. It's
Wow. It is. It really is. I feel like you could have a whole episode on just that.
And then you sit here and you stare at the phone going, oh my God, am I enough? Am I enough? And then I go, I think I'm enough. I get a hit of dopamine. Yeah. I got 4 likes.
Yep.
Good.
It's a microcosm, right? Social media and these influencers, it's just a smaller version of what do they call it? Hollywood? Is that what you would call it?
Yeah. Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the other thing is like, that's why I try to get the girls I work with to get back to the basics of, the only way I can get out of trauma is to get into the right here, right now, because my trauma is really not today. It's I am reflecting and projecting everything that already happened to me into the day I'm in to create my future so I can be a victim again.
Yes. It's coloring. I call it like trauma tunnel vision. And I say this with the utmost like I did it too. So I'm not in any way shaming you. Like you put your goggles on and everything's colored by the trauma. So then what are you going to see in front of you?
Totally. And it's literally, I have made so many mistakes and I share all my mistakes. I'm like, look at it. You can't hurt me with this because that girl is dead. I no longer lead with her. So you can talk about how sold drugs, sold my body, lied, had abortions. I've done everything. Got arrested for assault and battery, for robbery. I've beat up men. I've beat up women. I've lied, I've manipulated. I've done all that stuff. God has given me a playground. He says, go at it, girl. And every time he says, you want some help? No, I got it. I'm okay. I'm fine. Right? Who's that sound like us, right? Would you like help? No, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm like the 5-year-old. Would you like want me to help you with your shoes tight? No, I can tie my own shoes. Throwing it all over the place. Okay. God has given me that playground until I finally hit my bottom, which is a great place to be if you guys are at a place where you're like, I can't do this anymore. Congratulations. Now you're ready. Because I can't build a new life if I still keep grabbing at materials that I think might work. I got to be done. And then I can build a new foundation. And then I can stabilize. Like, am I drinking enough water? Did I eat okay today? Remember with your kids, it's like, oh, honey, do you need a nap? Do you need something to drink? Do you want your bottle? Do you want a cookie? Oh, you want to go outside and play? You want to pet the dog? Go look at the butterflies. Go smell the grass. Like, these are all calming your senses.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Do you need a hug? Honey, do you need a hug?
You want a kiss? Yeah. You want me to tell you I love you? Yeah. You're hearing, tasting, touching, smelling.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for me to get out of my daily trauma, because I can get up in the morning, the alarm's late. Boom! All bets are off. I'm like, I go into live or die, black or white, red, blue. Am I going to live? Am I going to? Oh my God, either I become a controller or a people pleaser or a loner, or I hate myself. I don't want to talk today. I'm in one of those moods. Don't talk to me. And then I feel like I'm a victim of my whole life. My whole life's like this. Do I ever get anywhere? See how I perpetuate my trauma.
Yeah.
And the simplest things to do is stop for 1 second. That's all it takes. God just needs 1 second to get in there. Take a breath and go, okay, do I need water? It's like a big, huge thing. If I'm 75% water and I dehydrate, I tighten up. Calm down. Do I need water? Do I need to take a breath? Do I need to talk to somebody? Should I put some music on? Do I need something to eat? Do I need to go for a walk? Like the simple things. And then I can stabilize. And once I stabilize, I feel safe. I can't go anywhere in life until I stabilize. And that's what happens when there's an earthquake and the shaking stops. Everything falls and you feel stabilized. It's done. It's like the storm, hurricane. When it's finished, you're like, I can breathe now. And that's what I do in my life. I create this, I create because, I'd love to say, a lot of people say, it wasn't my fault. Who is in your life right now? Are you always a common denominator in all your mayhem? Yes. Then you're the one. Bingo, you won. You're in control. So why don't we switch that, turn the other cheek, look a different direction and go, oh, okay. I did create 99.5% of my problems because I'm in it. 99.5%. I'm the other, part in it. Then I can create a good life because if I can take credit for the things that went wrong, then I can just really take credit for the stuff that go right. Instead of waiting for you to fix it, I can do it. I can be a part of the solution instead of keep beating the drum of mine, the problem, the problem, the problem, the problem.
Yeah. I love how this can look different for everyone too, because like we said before, if we've had that moment of self-awareness and we're like, maybe I'm in an environment that doesn't feel good for me, right? Like tapping into that feeling sense. You're the common denominator here. Okay. This is following you around. What have you been pouring into yourself with? What have you been absorbing from your environment? What have you been filling your mind with? What have you, like, we're scrolling, we're reading, we're listening. You become most like the people that you hang out with. Like, maybe it's time to leave those environments.
Yeah.
Even if it's just that, even if it's a small tweak, like change something, do something.
If it's for an hour so you can feel the difference from being in it and
Yeah.
out. Because I can't make a decision if I only see one way.
Yeah.
If I'm only driving forward, they go, why don't you go to the left? I can't see the left.
Yeah. And as children, when we've grown up in environments that a lot of us on this show, listening to this show, have, that was our perspective of the world, was what we were given as children. So if we're carrying that one perspective with us, the onus is on us now. Like, we have that responsibility if we're going to care for ourselves and protect ourselves and have better boundaries. How are we going to know what we truly need unless we go out and research it,
Yeah.
experiment, find new perspective, find new ways of seeing things.
Yeah, and we get to do it. We get to. That's a big word. Instead of I have to go to work. No, sweetheart, you get to go to work. How lucky you are you have a job. Like I start saying, that old saying, half empty, half full. But I
Yeah.
always say it's the pony and the horse shit. Like if there's a pony there, go find it, girl. Go get it,
I
girl.
love that. It makes it feel less hard because I remember when I was first realizing, like you said, like it comes off and you're seeing everything. I remember literally crying in the floor because I felt so helpless. I was like, I have no idea how to do any of this. I'd been on my own since I was 17, but prior to that, I was the parentified child. Like I'd never got to be a child, but I also never knew how to be an adult, right? So I was just trapped in this place of like, I don't know how to do anything. And the way you just worded that, that would have helped me then, right? Because it would have given me the power versus the helplessness and the fear.
Well, that's that black and white thinking. That's the trauma black and white thinking. And once you get stabilized, you can see the gray. I would say the gray, I'm all gray, but I can own that now. But, the gray zone is black, white, 98 shades of gray. So you have so many different avenues to go. So if you kind of like broaden or you're looking at it from a broader perspective, you're like, okay, so I'm with somebody I really don't want to be with, and I'm not happy. I feel stuck. What if I just go out for a couple hours today? I want to see what it feels like to not be in this prison in my mind place that we place ourselves in. And then just getting away for a couple hours. How does that feel? Like you said, how does it feel? What does it feel like to feel the wind on your face and smell something different and going to get something to eat by yourself and saying hello to strangers and dogs and looking at the lake or the whatever. How does that feel? You can have more of that. And then you go back home to this, whatever your prison that you're living in. Maybe you're in a bad, like I said, it's usually a lot of us women place ourselves in these hostage situations that I sign up for. And then I can't understand why I feel so trapped because I place myself in a position to be hurt. But what if I take myself out of that position just for a second so I can taste what it feels like to have a different experience? And then I can get really hungry for it. And then I figure out to go get it.
Your senses come back alive. So, okay, let me see. You have children's books that you haven't published yet.
I have 2 children's books. I'm actually taking a class right now, and I just can't, I'm coming up with another one.
So cool.
Yeah, my brother wrote most of it before he died, and then I finished it. I cleaned it.
Wow, that's special.
And so it's kind of our book. And then I have a memoir, which had Peanuts to Percocet, Notes on a Hollywood Childhood. And it's about abuse and it's about living, you're not what you've done, basically, in a nutshell. You're not
Yeah.
what you've done, okay? Because I was just in a reactive state. And it's about my brother dying and knowing that I had a value, regardless of what I thought I had. It's kind of like a redemption book. I wrote it. It's my first 30 years. And
Is
then,
that already published?
well, I had it on, what happened is it went with Brandon House at the last minute, it fell apart. It was like wind out of my sail. So I rewrote it, I re-edited it, and then I put it on Amazon, and then I thought, they own it now. So I took it off. And then I took my POA, my power of attorney over my property again. I filed for that. And then I got involved with an agent who wanted to pitch it as a movie because it could be like an 8-part, like 13. Remember that TV?
Yep.
Stuff like that. And then I got a director to do it, and that fell apart. So now I'm back.
Interesting. So I wonder if this was like a protective capacity of like it wasn't time or that wasn't the right place, or if this was like an attack of like we don't want you to get this out there.
I don't know. I think it might be a little of both because, right, at the time, I remember going to this guy who did my numerology, and in my chart, he's like, don't do it. Don't put it out there. You do not want to do a movie on it. And then the guy was trying to do a movie after, and he's like, you need to stay away from this.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that's so weird, and so now I think it's taking on a different life because now I'm away from it.
Yep.
don't want a movie of it.
Change the environment.
Totally. Frequency, turn your frequency. You got to shift a frequency. So who knows? Who knows? I don't know, but I want to get it, that's what I'm doing. So there's where I'm at. I'm looking for a publisher, a proper one. I'll probably hybrid it. I just know it's a message I'd like to get out there because I went through a lot. I always think, I know everybody goes through this. And then when people hear kind of where I come from, they're like, are you kidding? And the wonderful thing about it is, despite what I went through with my mother, I don't have one ill feeling about her. I have practiced the art of forgiveness because I started identifying that hurt people hurt people. She was hurt.
Yeah.
I reacted to it. I became that character based on my reactions. I became that character. It's not her fault. I kept making it her fault. I'm broke because of her. I'm a bitch because of her. I can't get a job because of her. Because we always fall in our nemesis. And finally I just thought, my mom, I had to look at who I became because of her. And then as a result of that, I started seeing her as a human being who was reacting out of her pain and her trauma. And I started forgiving her and saying she wouldn't have beat me if she wasn't so tortured herself. Like mothers don't have children and say, how can I not feed them for months at a time? How can I steal their money? How can I beat them and hurt them and hate them and abandon them? And no, she was so sick. So I forgave her because you know what? I want people to give me some grace too.
I feel like this is important for people to hear. And I have a question.
Yes.
So don't think that there's a right answer to this question, but I know people listening are probably going to be wondering, was your mother ever able to take accountability for the things that she did to you, or did you forgive without that piece?
I forgave without that piece, my friends, because we keep trying to get you to see, I did do it. And then I can go, at least you owned your shit, woman.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my mother died homeless, drunk. I
Wow.
got her into, I got her into probably 8 rehabs. And, her dying gave me life.
Mm.
I got to see she's just a mere reflection of me, untreated and not taking care of herself. Because,
Wow.
but for the grace of God, there go I, meaning I'm her, except I chose to say, I can't do this. I'm weak. I need help. I surrender. Please help me. And when your ego is protecting itself all the time, even though it's my life, I can screw myself, that's the ego protecting itself.
Or I'm not doing that. Actually, everybody else is the problem. I've been through so much. Like I'm just trying my best to make it.
Would you stop? I'm a victim. You're screwing up my vibe. I'm a victim. Stop.
Why is everyone so mean to me? I don't understand.
Yeah, right. So yeah, my mom, she had a couple minutes of sobriety. She had like 9 months. And I remember her in really disarray and and if your parents get sober, and I know a lot of your listeners have parents that are alcoholics and addict, and you really think that if they get sober, then I'll be okay. It's like, it may never happen, sweetheart. Why can't you practice being okay today? Why are you going to wait? Why are you shortchanging yourself? Why can't you allow yourself to have some happiness, regardless if they're sober or not? Like, this is where your power comes in. So I got sober. She never got sober. And when she passed, I really believe that all my anger and my resentment and my hate that I had for her, I had a lot of hate for this woman. Putting me in juvenile hall, living on the streets, stealing all my money. I made a lot of money as a child, eating out of trash cans. Like I made her my reason why I was so nothing.
Yeah.
I made her my problem. And when my mentor said to me, you're never going to have a fruitful life until you forgive. So I wrote all this stuff down and, in AA, we call it an inventory. And I was like, okay, I got to go make my mom amends. So my mom had died and I took her ashes and I put them at the beach right near my house. Got to keep your enemies close, people. I was like, my sponsor, my mentor said to me, "You got to go make amends to her." And I go, "Okay." Without having a fight, I said, "Okay." Practice saying, "Okay," you guys. Just you're not saying you're right. You're just like, "Okay,"
Oh, that's good.
because you have some space in between your reaction.
Yep.
Practice going,
Okay.
"Okay." You can say it 8,000 different ways. Hey. Oh, okay. Whatever, however your flavor you want to do it. And so I wrote all this stuff down. I wrote, I resented my mom for all this stuff. Like I had a fucking laundry list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hard-
Yeah, that's okay. We cuss here.
Okay, good. So I had this laundry list and I'm like, oh yeah. So I wrote it all down. And then the other side of the page, I wrote, okay, what did I do in retaliation to that? So I'm like, okay, my mom didn't take me to the doctor because she told me I was too expensive when I broke my arm. So when I got mad at her and I broke her arm, what do you think I said to her? You're too expensive to take you to the hospital. So my reaction, I wasn't acting, I was a reactive state. What character did I build? Who did I become? I
Mhm.
vindictive, spiteful woman. And I blamed it all on her. So I had to look at who I had become. Now, all of a sudden, she doesn't look so bad. She looks is hurt.
Now she looks like the victim. Wait a minute. I thought I was the victim.
All of a sudden, I start looking at her going, wow, she's as tortured by her mind as
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden I'm right sized. So then I started having some empathy for my mom. My mom was abused, molested by her dad. God, she
Yeah.
must have been in pain. I mean, just having those memories and then having to get married and having all these kids and never being parented and loved and nurtured and healed. And she had 7 children and she had all this. Hello, this became her solution. So what did I do?
Yeah.
Same thing. That became my solution. So all of a sudden I'm right size. And I love telling this story because this was the most pivoting point of one of my big moments in life. I was 38 years old. And I had, like I said, I put my mother's ashes on the beach. Now, in order for me to get to the beach in California, I had to go underneath the highway because there was a tunnel because it was just traffic was too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I went underneath it and I sat down and I had this long thing and I'm reading it to my mom and I'm telling her I'm sorry and I'm making amends and I'm crying. And all of a sudden I feel this ease and comfort. And all of a sudden I'm like, wow, this is like, oh God, I purged, that feeling
Yeah.
of purging. I was doing continuity. I'm a script supervisor by trade, which means I pay attention to everything and I pick out the flaws. Like you all watch a movie, you're like, oh, that's wrong. That was my job. Trust me.
What a cool job. I feel like I would be good at that job.
Yeah, there are a lot of factors when the director goes, it doesn't matter if he's wearing a yellow hat. He's such a good actor. I'm like, it was blue before. Don't worry about it. They won't pay attention. I'm like, okay, it's on you, dude.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here, I do this whole thing for like an hour and a half, and I feel like, wow, I feel okay. I feel right. And I said, Mom, you know what? Thank you. And then I wrote down everything that my mother gave me. She
Mm.
She gave me she gave me such strength. She gave me ambition. She gave me a sense of humor. She gave me her look. She gave me her brain. She gave me her sav, her sensuality. Like I started to say, thanks, Mom. Yeah, you didn't. But you know what? When you didn't feed me, what did I do? I went out and found food. Thank you for giving me that.
That's brave. That process that you just talked our listeners.
But it was tough, but I get to be in charge. Finally, I'm no longer a victim.
Yeah. And all of this speaks to the beauty of the human heart, like,
Oh my God, I'm a victor now. I'm a victor. So I do this. And then all of a sudden, I turn around and I go back underneath the tunnel. And but for the grace of God, God is my witness. Someone in that time when I was out at the ocean had spray painted on the side of this cement tunnel. It's never too late to have a happy childhood.
wow. Wow. That is beautiful.
And I looked at that and I thought, wow, I can have a different perception of my childhood now
Yeah.
because I have the power to see it differently. So now I'm like, My mom was awesome. Oh, she was batshit crazy. Satan on Sundays or Satan on Saturdays and, Michelangelo on Sundays. She was the best for me because I
Mm.
really like the woman I am. And if it wasn't
Mhm.
for all that stuff I went through, I wouldn't be sitting here. She's a part of my soup.
I like that. This
Yeah.
is a very refreshing take, I think. And, on this show,
Hmm.
I didn't expect to be doing interviews on this show. Like I thought this was going to be like my show, right? And then here's little old me and I'm sitting in front of the camera and I'm like, this is
Right.
not quite what I'm wanting. I desire that connection. I desire the conversation. Like it's everything, right? It's what we're here for. We're relational beings. And I love that we have such a diverse range of opinions and stories and lessons that come on the show. Because
Yeah.
I know there's going to be people listening to my solo episodes and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so boring. Like, this does not resonate for me at all. And then there's going to be people that listen to this episode and they're like, you know what? I really needed to hear that. That's exactly where I am right now.
That's pretty much what I'm here to be. How can I add to the world?
Yeah.
Because the more I give, and I am tenfold blessed. After that, I did those amends and I started taking responsibility. I was making, this is crazy, I was making. I'm not saying that you'll get the gifts of this, but this is something because I withheld. When you're a victim, nothing comes to you.
No. Yeah.
You're so bound up.
Yeah, so you get that back, right? Like you're saying, I want this in my life. I want more of this. I'm focusing on this. Even if we don't realize we're doing it, then life is like, okay, here's more of this.
Right. I was making probably $25,000 a year. And by the end of it, after my forgiveness a year later, I made 125.
Wow.
Why? Because I allowed
Hmm.
myself to receive, because I gave the gift of forgiveness.
Yep. And this is good too. Something that just came through for me and hearing you say that is for listeners right now, it may not be about money. It may not even be about forgiveness. But what we're talking about here, I want to encourage the listeners, go back to this episode, listen to the energy of what's being said here. If it's not forgiveness for you, what is it? What do you feel like you might need to set down? What do you feel like you might need to open to? Maybe you don't need more money. Maybe you need a sense of connection. Maybe you need more creativity. It's there. You have the power.
The funny thing is, because as a child, there was so much taken from me.
Hmm.
I made a living. It was like now I was allowing myself to receive my hard work I earned. I get
Mm.
to reap the benefits. The self-worth, I stopped throwing up. I was a bulimic. I stopped throwing up because the rage was going away. Rage.
Oh, I'm sure you had to swallow rage and swallow your
I
words.
stuff the anger and then just get rid of it. But now there was no stuffing, so there was no getting rid of. So all these things, like I didn't have to look in the mirror and say, God, I hate you, Hillary.
Mm.
That's my favorite thing. I hate you. I do so ugly. Oh,
I'm so sorry.
yeah, now I don't do that. Now I'm like, eh.
And my favorite part of this story, I think, listening to you and remembering my story too, I did things that I was not proud of.
Oh well, oopsie. I'm a hot mess. Oopsie,
Yeah.
no longer.
Yeah. And I'm truly sorry. I'm truly sorry for the people that I hurt in that. And if I'm going to hold that space for my mother, for instance, and say like, gosh, you were really struggling. Like you had no idea what you were doing. You were hurting. I have
Yeah.
to be able to do that for myself too.
Yeah, yeah. I have to give, if I want love, I have to give love.
Yeah.
I want empathy, I have to give empathy. You get what you put out. It's really simple.
Not easy. Simple.
Really simple. It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a nice conversation. I appreciate it.
I've enjoyed it. Well, so, but when we first got on the call, you shared that your mind was kind of trying to hijack you a little bit today. How are you feeling?
I feel so much better because I centered myself. I got
Yeah.
water. Notice that. I
Yeah.
stabilized myself. And as a result of that, I come out of me. Because
Yeah.
my mind can hold me captive. I get so captured by my, or, oh, right? It's like, pause, honey, don't take yourself so serious. I'm not that important. I'm just one molecule with the rest of the world. So it's interesting when I allow myself to simmer down, slow down turbo. All of a sudden I see some different, things.
Hmm.
And when you're going so fast in the car, you can't see the out. You can't see this.
Yeah.
When I slow down, I'm like, Oh, wow, it's not that bad. Okay, I'm just tired. I need some water. You know what? I'm in my head too much. And then we shared and it expanded.
Yeah. I love the feeling that when I'm on these calls, we change time. Like it expands, it slows down, we zoom in, we zoom out, like, and we're carrying this forward with us, right? Like it's
Yeah.
all a part of the whole now, and it's gonna go out in the world, and here it is. Here's our baby. So
Here it is.
yeah, I've greatly, you're so fun. So okay, what is your astrology sign?
I'm a Gemini with the Taurus rising and a Sag moon, and my love is in Cancer. Poor tortures. That means a difference. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I have the power to change the trajectory because I'm an energetic frequency that if I protect my biofield and I allow myself to emulate from the inside out instead of making it from the outside in,
Yeah.
my life is good in the day I'm in, but I can only do it right now.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right now. Right now. When I say God, 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 I'm literally calling in a power greater than Hilary. That's it.
I love that.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Oh my gosh. So I want to have you on for another episode one day, maybe in like season 2 or 3, because I'm very much into like debunking conspiracies and proving conspiracies. So like taking things and being like, but did you think of it this way?
Oh my God. My poor husband's like, I was listening to I didn't know if I'd say anything, but I started watching the book of Enoch.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, don't listen to that shit. It's all because he's fundamental Christian. I'm like, and then I got this book called Myths.
No, I haven't read of that one.
Oh, dude. Hold
Interesting.
on.
I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it.
Oh my God.
My husband gets so tired of me. He will be like cutting someone's hair.
Myths
Unveiled. Okay, I'm definitely gonna get it. Okay, I'm here for it, and we'll do another episode soon.
Okay, love it.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye, sweetheart.
Thanks for spending time in the Reclamation Room. Be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if this supported you, consider sharing it or leaving a review. You're not alone.